Hiya YouTubers, this is Superman G, come back at you one more again. And this is part 2 of my upgrading a laptop from the hard disk drive to the Crucial SSD drive with built-in Acronis. Now, the next thing you want to do is go to the Crucial.com's website where you can download the software of Acronis. So if you have an account, you can sign in, or if you don't have an account, I suggest that you make one so that you can register your device, which is what I highly recommend that you do. And once you register it, it'll be in your account, and then you can go back and look at any of the information about the device that you purchased. Then you go to the Acronis link where you can download it, the program. And I've already downloaded it, so I don't have to download it again, but it's the same as if you download anything. Just download the product to your computer, and once you've done that, you're going to go to the location of where it is and install it. So when it comes to cloning these drives or exchanging them, you're going to need a few devices. You're going to need this USB to SATA cable, and you can find these anywhere, Amazon, Newegg, wherever your preference of finding or shopping is. And you're also going to need the SSD drive itself. Now, what comes in the package of the SSD drive is a bracket, which you may or may not need to use. You have the instruction installation manual, and you have the SSD drive itself. It's relatively easy to install this. All you do is take the SATA end of the USB to SATA cable and you plug it into the connection side of the SSD drive. Now, this is relatively easy. You just have to make sure you have the correct orientation of the cable and the SSD drive and just plug it straight on. Once you've done that in, plug in the USB in into an available USB port on the computer. Try to make sure it's like a USB 3 port or a super speed port so the transfer rate can be faster. I'm also plugging in the USB drive that contains the Acronis cloning software. It doesn't matter where you plug this into, just make sure you plug it into an available USB port. If you don't have a 3.0 port, a 2.0 will work just fine. Now, before you use the SSD drive, you have to first partition it and make it available. If you don't, you could run into an error when trying to clone the information from the old hard drive to the new drive. And I've made videos about this before on how to initiate a drive, but I'll show you how to do that again in this section. So in the search bar, you want to type in disk manage. When you start typing the word disk, you'll see create and format hard disk partition. Select that. At this point, initialize this window will come up, and it says you must initialize a disk before logical disk manager can access it. It shows you the selected disk. Use the following partition style for selected task. Leave this at GPT and then click OK. Once you click OK, you will be able to select in the disk management which disk that you want to partition and format. So from here, you should be able to look at all the disks that are installed on your computer as of right now, which is up at the top there that I have selected. So right now at the disk 0, that's my Crucial 500 gigabyte drive. This 1 is my storage drive. This 2 is the Samsung drive, and this 3 is the drive, the 500 gigabyte Samsung drive that we just tried to connect. Gonna right click on it, select new simple volume. The new simple wizard window will come up. It's gonna say welcome to the new simple volume wizard. you're going to click or select Next to continue. This is the specified volume size. You leave everything the same. Click Next. You can assign a drive letter to this drive if you choose to. You can make it anything other than a drive letter that has already been selected on your computer. So any one of those letters will work that are in this list. I'm going to choose the letter X for a very good reason. And this will be the reason for it. So here is the format partition. Leave everything the same, but you can change the volume label, the name of the volume, in other words, the name of the disk. Anything you want. So I'm going to name this extra storage, and then make sure it's selected to perform a quick format. Click Next. Now it's going to give you a summary of everything that's going to complete, or everything that you've selected to complete this simple volume wizard. After everything has been verified on your behalf, click Finish, and you can see that now it is formatted and partitioned. And I'm going to bring another window over from my other screen to show you that it is ready to be used. And here it is. This is the window that will pop up showing you that the folder is empty, but it is available to use. I'm going to actually go up one level to show you what it will look like on the desktop. And as you can see, all my drives are there, and the extra storage device that I just connected or just made is readily available to use. And that's it. You can close out all the windows from there. Now you want to go back to the computer that you are going to clone from. So from here, you want to start the Acronis True Image program, which I have saved on the flash drive that I had plugged in earlier. But you don't really want to run it from that drive. You can, but what I would suggest you do so that the program is actually on the computer is take it and actually drag it to the desktop. And that way, that copy or that program is actually on the computer, and it'll run from the computer and not just from the flash drive only. So the way to do that is to open up your flash drive folder where the program is located, where you downloaded it to, and you're going to highlight the Acronis True Image program, and you're going to select Cut or Copy. And when you do, you can right click on the desktop and click Paste. And when you do, you'll see it copy over onto the computer's desktop. Now that the Acronis program is on the desktop, you want to start it so that you can clone the old drive to the new drive. It's going to ask you, do you want to allow this app to make changes to the device? You say yes. It's going to go through the unpack and installer files. This may take a little time depending on the type of computer that you have. Now this computer is not the fastest, so it's going to take some time. At this point, Acronis True Image for Crucial window will pop up asking you if you wish to install it. You're going to choose to install it. Installation may take some time. Once again, if you have an older computer, it may take a while for it to finish installing. So take a break, go eat some, go watch TV, do something. Once it is finished, the installation is complete, and you're going to click Start Application. And it's going to start opening the program up. Now, I've cut some of this out to for time restraints. So the license agreement is going to come up. You're going to click on I accept this agreement, click OK. After you click OK, the Acronis True Image for Crucial will come up. Now it may ask you about creating an account if you don't have one. If it asks you to create an account and you don't have one, make sure you create an account because you will need that. So at this page, you're going to select Start Cloning Wizard. And again, some of this I actually cut out because of the length of time it took to process. At this page, you're going to choose a clone mode, which is automatic. Select the source hard disk from the list below. So this is the disk that is actually installed on the computer that you want to clone the information from. In this case, the installed drive on the computer is the Toshiba. You select it and click Next. Now this is a target disk. This is the information that's going to the drive or the new drive. In this case, it was the Samsung 500 gigabyte drive that we just partitioned. Now the reason why you're seeing not initialized for disk number 2 is because this was before we did the initializing of the partition and the formatting of it. So if you didn't format it or initialize it, you're going to see that message. Once you've done that, you come back to the cloning program and now you see that disk number 2 doesn't show not initialized. The disk has been initialized. So at this point, you're going to select the target hard disk from the list below, which is disk number 2, the 500 gigabyte Samsung drive that we've initialized and formatted. Make sure you do these in this step and you shouldn't have any problems. At this point, select the required cloning method window will show up. The first one, to replace a disk on this machine, is what you want to select. Once you select that, you're going to click on the next button down at the bottom. Acronis is going to process your selection. At this point, this is a summary. It shows your source disk and your target disk. It shows how much space is on the new drive right now, which is the before, and how much will be on the disk after the cloning process has happened. Click Proceed. Acronis again will go into locking down a partition. This also will take some time, so take a break. This is an area where you have to be patient because it can take a long time for this cloning process to happen. It depends on the size of the disk, it depends on the information on the disk, and the speed of your computer. As you see, it's copying and merging partitions. It'll give an estimated time left, but it can vary depending on what's going on. It can be more, it could be less. You just have to take a break and go do something else. And when you come back from doing whatever it is you were doing, taking a break, you should see a message like this. The disk was successfully cloned. To use the clone drive on the current hardware, turn off the computer, remove the source drive, install the clone drive in place of the source drive, and turn on the computer. Once that is done, you're going to click OK to close the window. And at this point, you can close out Acronis and then proceed to shut down your computer, because at this point, you're ready to swap out the drives from the old computer's hard disk drive to the new SSD drive. Okay, at this point, now that the computer has been shut off, we have the necessary tools that we need to make the swap. We have the Crucial MX500 2.5-inch solid state drive, which is a 500 gigabytes of storage. We also have some ATEC premium memory. This is the 8 gigabyte module DDR4 2666 megahertz memory that we're going to use or upgrade in the laptop. Right now there is 4 gigabytes of memory in the laptop, but we want to upgrade it to 8 because that'll make the computer faster when it comes to the processing power of it. I also have a laptop and tablet screen replacement toolkit here. You've seen me talk about this before. This is a necessary device to have if you plan on working on laptops or anything that has very small screws. I'll put a link to where I found this at in the video description if you're interested in wanting to get one of these, but it has everything that one needs to be able to work on a laptop with or anything of that small caliber. As I turn the laptop over, there are a lot of screws that I have to remove. Every screw hole that you see means that there's a screw that I have to take out. When it comes to laptops, you're going to have a lot of screws that you have to remove whenever you have to do upgrades or take it apart or something like that. So you want to first make certain that before you take anything out of the laptop, you have to remove the optical drive screw. So to do that, you want to take a safety pin or a pin cushion and push it into the ejector hole of the DVD drive or CD drive, and it'll eject. It'll pop out. And after you've ejected it, now you can take the screw that holds that drive into place and unscrew it from the laptop. Most of these screws are the same size, but just be aware of those sizes so you don't get confused and put the wrong screw in the wrong hole. Pull the drive all the way out. Make sure you got enough space to move it out of the way, which I didn't have, and should come out just fine. After that, you want to finish removing all the available screws that are located inside of the laptop. This is a spudger. This is a recommended device that you get if you're going to be working on laptops. What this spudger does is that it is able to get in between the foundation of the laptop, the closing of the back end to the bottom of the laptop. Once the spudger is gone all the way around, you're able to pry loose the bottom. You can just take it right off. And as you can see, it reveals everything inside the laptop. This is the hard disk drive, and there's a battery here, but you should also notice that the green item there is the memory. I should have unplugged the battery before working on this, and I did not. I highly recommend you do that if you're going to be working on laptops. Make sure you unplug the battery or take the battery out before you work on it because of the charge that the battery can still carry in the laptop. This is the 8 gigabytes of memory, SODIMM memory for the laptop. Laptop has SODIMM memory, so remember that. And it's only going to go one way. It's key to going only one way, so you can't install this in the wrong way. In order to remove the old memory, those two clips on the right and left, you push them outward and the memory will pop up just as it did. You just remove it out. Take the new memory, push it in at an angle, almost when it's upright. It'll only go in one way. Don't force it. Once you get it seated in there, push it in all the way till it won't no more, and then push it down and the clips will come together to secure it. This is the hard disk drive here. There are several screws that we have to remove in order to get the hard drive out of the holding area. So once you've removed all the screws that are holding the hard drive in this area, you have to lift a latch for the data cable in order to get that removed. Once you remove that, you should be able to remove the hard drive from its resting place. Once you've done that, we have to remove the 4 screws that are holding the hard drive into the hard drive caddy. So make certain that you remove those 4 screws and it should only be 4 screws. And once you've removed those, you should be able to take the hard drive away from the hard drive caddy. Now this still has one more piece to remove. We have to remove this SATA connector here, and once you've removed it, you just pull it straight off and wiggle it off, and it shouldn't give you any problems. And then take the new drive and plug that SATA connection into the new drive. Make sure you get the orientation correct. You don't want to force anything, but make sure that your orientation is correct, and just push it straight on, and it shouldn't give you any issues. And once that's done, you want to take the drive and put it back into the hard drive caddy. Make sure you secure it with the 4 screws that you had taken out earlier when you removed the old hard disk drive from the caddy. Make sure that everything is aligned, and take the 4 screws and secure them back. Make certain that the screwdrivers that you use is magnetized. This will make it easier for you to be able to screw those small screws back into the holes without you dropping the screws from the screwdriver. This will make it so much easier. Believe you me, it will make it so much easier. Once you get the 4 screws back onto the SSD drive with the hard drive caddy, you're going to take your data cable and secure that back into the connection port of the data end, and then take the screws for mounting the hard drive with the hard drive caddy back into the laptop. And that's it. You are all done. The hard disk drive is installed, the memory is installed, and that is it. Make certain before you button it up, you plug the battery back into the connection port, or you won't get power at all. Put the cover back on. Make sure you put it on correctly. Make sure the screws go back in the same way. Put your CD-ROM drive back into place. Secure that down. Once everything is secured, you want to power it on. And I just lost the battery to my gimbal, which is why the picture did what it did. So now I have to hold it manually. But if you turn it on, everything should power right on. Log in with your login credential, your password or username if that's the screen that you have to work with. And the computer is done. And as you can see, the installed RAM is 8 gigabytes. So the RAM is working. So we went from 4 gigabytes to 8 gigabytes, and that's it. So I hope this helps you guys out. You all take care, be safe, and peace out.